Okay, welcome back to turn 18 of Blood on the Snow. This is not the first time that I've looked at this one. I just spent half an hour doing one of these, and because I'm a genius, I didn't have the recording software picking up my mic. So I just spent half an hour talking to myself with the game only recording the background noise. This does not bode well for decisions that I made in that half an hour, but that's the turn that's gone off. You guys have still got to see all this. I will put that amazing half an hour in-depth tactical genius footage up in, say, the community section on the YouTube channel. You guys can try and guess what I'm talking about, where the mouse is just kind of like wafting over the screen and the camera focuses on random elements, but with no actual voiceover. So I'll try and give a real quick run through. Last turn we had this hilarity. One random 40mm grenade got all the way from that Mark 19 on that striker all the way down here. What, I can't remember what the distance is, but it's just ridiculous. And apart from that, we know that we've got all these American contacts here. We've got like teams in each of these barns. There's an MG team in there. There's a HQ element in that house. There's a couple of Mark 19s, one behind this building and one behind that tree. Down here on the left, on the drama corner, if we turn the smoke off for a second, we've got two strikers. The other one is on here and it's got a hole in it. Two strikers have moved up to hold down positions behind the road embankment under cover of all this smoke, and yeah, we're going to see what happens with that. This is the kind of crunch point here. We're going to have to see how this platoon fares when the Americans push up through their wood. Then over on this flank, these two RPG teams, these guys over here and this one here, they keep firing off RPGs at the strikers every now and again. No, there's a couple of strikers up here. There's one what's on fire. Well, it's not on fire, but it's got a hole in it, and there's a dead Humvee as well. So, yep, standard stuff. One American platoon here, holding off the Red Hordes on this side of the map, and then these guys over here. There's one platoon probably in an L shape from these barns to the corner at the crossroads up here, and then I think another platoon in this coming down this way, which might try and roll up my flank. So I'm going to get the camera into a semi-decent position, then we'll do the classic playthrough, and I'll go back and show you what happened. I'll just let you guys just watch this first. Boom. Okay, so you might have seen some interesting things. I'm just going to check out the right to begin with. This is essentially this RPG team having a go at this striker, and it misses. And of course, because it's me playing combat mission, it misses in the most kind of comic and depressing way, by mere inches. Again. So there's the RPG, and yeah, you know, if it was like a foot lower, it would have hit it. But no. And after that, these guys get suppressed, both because they fired an RPG in a confined space, which is never a good idea, and because they get some return fire. So, you know, they go to ground and the striker contact disappears. But that's it, there's no more action over on this front. In the centre, things happen. These guys here get pelted by Mark 19 fire in a minute. Okay, so obviously that's not the first thing that happens. The first thing that happens is this BTR actually does something useful. And it shoots up the side of this barn here. Inside here, would you get the spot? There is these two guys. There's another dead American pixel chopping in there. These are an MG team. You see that guy with the M240? And they just get wasted by that 30mm HE, which is excellent. We also get some mortars landing on here, do a bit of damage, knock some buildings down. There we go. That Mark 19 that's keyholing through there manages to take these guys out, or one of them at least, the RPG gunner. We get another spot. The platoon HQ in this building. And what's interesting about this is that we have now seen this guy on this side. Before, we saw one guy on this side. So we know there's two guys in there. Maybe another dead one, because we did hit it with an RPG. But we'll see. More mortars take that down. And we also have a little bit of a firefight with these guys here. So there's just these two. And one of them gets nailed. And over here, this BTR actually gets suffers a penetration. From what, maybe 50 cal fire? I didn't spot the holes before. I kind of originally thought it was just 7.62 because it's not that well armoured on the sides. And that can really only come from here. Unless there's one possibility I didn't actually check out, which is what if... It is! Ah, okay. Right. I thought it was fire coming from this direction. You know, we definitely saw some infantry up on this corner right away. They were shooting at the BRDM, which is that Bernie thing over there. I thought they might be here. They might have an MG with them. And they might be shooting up the BTR. But it actually looks like... it's because the hits is a lower right hull penetration. That's like down here. And my logic was it's got to come from there. What's actually happening, because I just spotted that there, is there's something with a 50 cal up here on the hill targeting that barn. You can't see the better not be able to see the BTR. That would be grossly unfair if you can see through buildings. He's just shooting, he's area firing the building because there's an RPG team in there. And the 50 cal rounds are actually going through the building. It's only wood. And they're hitting the BTR in the flank. I hadn't noticed that. It doesn't make any difference. So that's what's going on there. And now the fun part. Get a good angle. So now we can see we've got some infantry spots coming up. We've got our little tripwire team from the Recce platoon. They're veteran. They're sat there. They're watching the direction the enemy is coming from. There's a bit of smoke, but that shouldn't stop them from seeing anything. And yeah, the Americans just walk up and shoot them, which is just great. I mean, like, literally walk up and shoot them. This is probably one man of a two-man scout team. which would leave us maybe, what, there's 9 men, 18, 16 guys hanging around here if it's 2 full squads. Also, I missed that bit, there's some 120mm mortar rounds, look like they're dropping in around here. Can't be anything bigger because we don't have off-map artillery. This dismounted BTR, the driver's dead, but the crew, the gunner got out. This gets hit up by a 50 cal and gets Swiss cheesed. See, this one didn't have a building in a way to take the hits, so that BTR is just out of action. And then just right at the end of the turn, screw it, we'll skip through. As the smoke is clearing, we're spotting more things. We can see that dead striker we hit before, and then right at the end, we spot a Humvee, Mark 19 Humvee. Hopefully, the BTR immediately engages, and for some reason it's firing air-bursting HE rounds on top of it instead of armor-piercing. I don't know why, but hopefully it's going to win the fight there. It bloody well should do. The Mark 19 is a lot less accurate at these kind of ranges. So yeah, that is the actual action of the turn. And nothing else blew up that I didn't notice, which is also good. So what have we got going on? Orders-wise, nothing's happening over on this flank. Over here, these guys are pushing forward onto this corner, so they can kind of see this way a little bit. We'll see if they get shot in the back, if there's something up there eyeballing down here. These guys are moving up to the top floor, where they can see over here. Incidentally, I forgot, there's a pile of dead Americans here. We both mortared this spot and hit it with area fire from the BTRs. So there's a big fire, there's 5 dead GIs in there. That's a good number of dead enemy to find, especially when you're up against the Americans, because they tend to be more expensive man for man. So these guys are going upstairs. The BTR isn't doing that. It's just gonna sit here, and I think, yeah, it's gonna area fire this corner here, just to see if it can't, do something to that building. Cause some casualties. These guys are, they're a little suppressed. They've been hit up a bit, sitting on this corner. They've crawled through here on their own initiative. So when they group up, they're going to have a bit of a pause, and then they're going to move in here, and we'll see if we can't finish off these guys. This is the last man in that squad, so that would be nice. This recce team, the last survivors, in fact, of the recce platoon, apart from that BTR, they're going to be hopping over this bit of fence and pushing up this way, just to see if anybody shoots at them. Over here, a lot of area fire. So we're not doing anything with this BTR because it's already engaging, and I want that, it'd be quite nice if that Humvee was on fire. And then this BTR and this BTR are both area firing this chunk of ground here, where I'm expecting there to be at least a few American pixel trooper. And then as the smoke clears, hopefully we'll see if some of my infantry in the woods can see anything down here and shoot at it, and whether this BTR can spot any strikers or anything and hit them up. Last bit, the mortars are going out again, and they're going to be hitting this kind of area here. All 6 of them, just smash it. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, I don't think there was anything. I think I went on about why I'm using the TRPs and not the... Yeah, so I can do that because I've already made these orders, so I can actually demonstrate. So even with the FO, if I want to do a cold mortars in, it takes 4 minutes. as you know, as a general time. If I stick them on the TRP, it takes 2 minutes. That's nice and reactive. If I get, say, this platoon commander, it takes him 6 minutes. So let's imagine that I want to mortar this platoon that's moved up here. Six turns ago, these guys were over here, and I had no idea where they were. I had no idea they even existed. Yeah, so that kind of lead time, that is not useful to me. Not in a fast-moving environment like this. Plus, we've got 12 minutes left. I'm not going to spend half of that calling in a mortar barrage on a target that isn't going to be there when it actually hits. So that's why I'm concentrating on using the TRPs. Might be worth, you know, maybe getting the FO into a position where he can get better eyes on this part of the village. For example, I'd want to maybe hit this little farm. Well, it is a farm, I suppose, isn't it? This little compounded type place. I would want to hit that up with mortars. But yeah, overall, the plan remains. I'm having... we're holding here, defending my objective, and we're pushing towards the enemy objective. All I need to do is get a single pixel truppen in this area to deny the points to the enemy. Deny the points to JTMO for it. And that should, you know, give me 200 for my objective plus casualties. He'll just have casualties. I still think casualties are relatively even. I don't think there's much in it points-wise at the moment. But yeah, that is essentially the plan. I am having some economy of force thoughts over here because JTMO is not pushing this way from the looks of things, and that might, you know, that might allow me to free up troops, say this platoon, free these guys up to reinforce this flank. I'm not overly bothered about the situation on Drama Corner. This is mostly because of the time that's left. There's only 12 minutes left, and you know, say it takes him 5 minutes to clear this area out. Well, I might be in the objective by then. And then he's got to come and clear me out of some more ground. So, yeah, I think he might be getting into... It's a kind of bigger picture issue. He might be getting into a fight onto this corner, which is going to cost him... You know, it doesn't have a good cost-benefit ratio. I think he's going to spend a lot of time and hopefully lose a lot of pixel truppen clearing this out where it's not actually that important in the grander scheme of things. Or he might wipe this platoon out in the next 3 turns and then steamroll around the back and annihilate and just come up behind my forces here. And just do a pincer movement coming down the hill and round the back at the same time. I don't think that's likely, and I think that if he did, I'd be able to give him enough of a bloody nose to think twice about it. But we'll see. The orders are out. I have totally goofed this. Like I say, you want to see the half-hour version. We might actually be up to half an hour with this, I'm not sure. You want to see the half-hour version, and guess what I'm talking about, I'll pop it in the community section. But yep, things are looking up.